Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here, and it is October the 14th, and it's 8:33 a.m. EST. And yes, interesting stuff going on in the charts. We got Jerome Powell talking today. So any of the price action overnight, what just happened in the last, say, 9 to 12 hours, might not matter. Okay, so noon EST, Jerome Powell talks, and that's a big deal. Because if you look at prices, they have gone down. We got the NASDAQ right here. NASDAQ attempted to break the highs, right? So the high here is at 25,400. NASDAQ did yesterday attempt to reclaim that and rejected right at the prior structure, right? And this is one of the structural levels that I pointed out on yesterday's video. Please go check that out. I do a weekly video where I talk about the general idea of what I think is going to happen with price over the next several days, so on and so forth. But I did think that this was an area, if memory serves. I'm not actually looking at it right now. Let's see, I can look right now. Let's see, there's the chart. Here's the NASDAQ. And yeah, so there's a line right there where it could reject, although I did think that it would continue up. And it, oh no, I have a rejection right there too. I have my, it could go this way, it could go that way. And even though that does make predictions sound less impressive, the reality is that's how things can go, especially prior to a speech. And that speech is happening, like I said, at 12 EST. Jerome Powell today may talk about what he is thinking about for the next cut, if you will. Perhaps it's going to be a rate cut, might be a rate hike, might be a rate nothing. Now, he has hinted at being, I can't think or talk. Sorry, guys. He has hinted at us starting a new cutting cycle. Doesn't mean he will cut, though. Today, most likely, at least I think, he may talk about data dependent, meaning wait and see, meaning we're going to see what the data says before we cut next. And the cut isn't, I don't think, until the next week or the following week. So we have a little bit of time. But whatever he says today is going to be under a microscope, right? So if he even hints at, oh, we might cut rates, then markets will shoot up. Now, I find it interesting that this whole thing was scheduled after the big move down, after Trump talked about tariffs coming back and, Bitcoin went down 8%. You see this big nasty wick here, right there. That was the big move. And then, of course, Sunday he walked it back and he said, oh, no, we'll talk with G, we'll work it out. And then price started to head back up. And I told Algo Factory at the time that he probably would do that before the following week got too far, meaning, okay, say Monday, Tuesday, he's probably going to walk it back and say, hey, we're working with, Xi Jinping. He actually did it on Sunday, him and Vance both. And of course, markets stabilized and stopped going below the lows. Now we're starting to see prices head back down. I was asleep like normal people the last several hours, so I don't know what happened in the news, if anything, but it might just be that prices are kind of heading down to find a low before Powell speaks, and then perhaps prices will go up. We shall see. Now that is the NASDAQ. Let's go ahead. We just looked at Bitcoin. We look one more time. Yes, so Bitcoin seems to be headed towards the local lows, which is about 108,000, and it's pretty stable right now. It's not making any huge moves. To look at the algos, I would say, I mean, it's a bit bearish, to be honest with you. It's, this could just hang out where it is for weeks. Now, if Jerome Powell says something very bullish, that can change. The yellow that you see up here was the Kingfisher liquidity, but that was yesterday. So let's go ahead and grab some new data on the kingfisher.io, and we're going to see if there is a new batch of liquidity. Most liquidity is topside. 122 is the high spike, but let's just say 121.4 all the way up to 123.1. So 121.4 to 123.1. So from here-ish to here-ish. Okay, so liquidity is still topside. If the algos flip bullish on Bitcoin, price will want to head up, and price could very well bounce off of what has been a pretty strong support this whole time. And if the Xi Jinping and the tariffs and all that truly gets reversed, it probably will. In the meantime, it's probably going to stay compressed, although it did hold above 102 and again above 106 and then above 108. The big spike down was bought up pretty quickly. So we're going to see whether or not that washes out or not. So I pay attention to Powell. I wouldn't even make any trades until Powell talks in a few hours, unless you're scalping, and that's another story, right? We got a little bit of time, and I did start a little bit late. We got Epic Builds. The same whale keeps shorting BTC and winning his bets. Yeah. So what Epic Builds is talking about is the big move down on Friday was shorted about a half an hour before it happened, and the guy yanked $200 million out of the market. And he shorted, I think, 30 minutes before the tariff tweet or Truth Social post, if you will, came out. So somebody knew something. And a lot of people who don't know anything about anything, oh, it was Barron Trump. Okay, first of all, you can't. Those are institutional people. Whoever did that is a big dog, and they definitely had the info ahead of time. I mean, it would be a very high level coincidence for them to know and risk that much money 30 minutes before. Like, that's not very likely. So yeah, fine. That's how it's worked. That's how it's always worked. Somebody heard something, whether or not they heard it, whether or not they were given that information on purpose, or whether or not they just kind of heard something, that's another question altogether. So before we head out to the private live lab, we will take a look at gold. So gold actually is having a little bit of a pullback, although I expect it to be temporary. A very sensible place for gold to head back or to bounce would be at about 4,060, right? So just looking at it as a prior high, looking at market structure, very, very simple. You had price heading up, broke down. What's this? Okay. Excuse me for that. And then heading back up. So where price made that high right there is a likely place for price to actually come down and bounce. So let's go ahead and fix this briefly. And here we are. Price comes down, may bounce right there. Very likely thing to happen. So for those of you who trade gold, and I hope you have a strong stomach, not a very easy thing to do. Okay, yeah. That is really something else. Now, we got Miko on the line. Miko wants to trade this morning. Let me see if I can get him a link in time. If we can get Miko on the show, then we'll just continue this on YouTube. And we'll do some live trading. Today being what it is, I don't know how well trading will go, because it's Jerome Powell speaks in like just a few hours, so we'll see. We'll talk to Miko, and we'll see how he feels, see if he's been trading. He's typing right now. Let's see what Miko says here. I'm going to take a brief look. Okay, Miko's going to come on in 5 minutes, so we'll just continue this here. We'll have a live session. Let's go ahead and take it the euro. Okay, so yeah, the euro does seem to want to continue down. Very interesting here. Give me just a moment to set something up. All right, hold on. Just got to do some tech stuff here. Stand by. Okay. So the euro is at a support. I would look to possibly short this, but I hear myself talking in the background. We got to fix that. Say apologies. Yeah, I would say definitely I'm waiting until this breaks below. So the euro is at making a support. It's a head and shoulders that broke down, but the problem is that this head and shoulders has a structural issue. So what does all that mean? What am I saying in English? Head and shoulders is a predictable pattern, right? So it looks like this in this case. So that's the head and shoulders. I'm going to zoom in. You can see it on a lower time frame. on a higher resolution look here. Yeah. Well, the true head is right here. It's kind of funky. Really, it's like just the way it is. Let me hide this to get rid of some noise. So the way these usually work with head and shoulders, it's kind of a complex head. They're usually shaped kind of like this, but the P cap in here on a news event. So we'll just put it right there. And the targets, whenever you see this pattern, the chances of it heading down are high. And it actually did head down. It broke down right here, right? When it comes out, it tends to break down. But there's a bit of an issue trading this one. First of all, it's already broken. It's already too late. So that's that. But it does tell us that there's a bit of bearishness in the charts. And if I were to put some targets on here, they'd be right there. Now, this structure, this little kind of this area where price pivoted is going to be a problem. And it already is, because price is now bouncing right there and heading back into the head and shoulders pattern. But the pattern has already been broken. The move has been made. Now, there was a decent target right there. Someone could have shorted had they been awake at what is essentially midnight my time. But really not a lot of price action for the European Open. Usually the European Open is a bit stronger than that. So clearly the market is waiting for Powell. And when Miko comes on, I might talk to him about that. I might ask him if he really does care to trade on a day like this. But we did talk about it. Well, I messaged him about it yesterday. So usually the market just kind of slows down before Powell talks. Excuse me for one moment here. That being said, if this did break below right here, then a natural target like a fib-based head and shoulders target would be sitting at 115.12. But if we were to go back through time on a higher resolution or a lower resolution, higher time frame look. Morning, Miko. How you doing, bud?
We got sound today.
Yeah, we got sound. We can hear you, sir. How are you?
Always good, mate. Always good.
Good. So now, what's that?
I just started my trading about 10, 15 minutes ago myself.
Okay, so now you have to ask yourself, on a day when Jerome Powell talks at 10 a.m., is this a day where you want to trade?
I'll pretty much
say
trade
10 a.m.
any day.
my time. That's 12 EST.
Yeah.
So effectively, that's in
But,
about five. How many? Let's see, 6:45, 7, 3. So Jerome Powell speaks in 3 hours, and it's a red envelope event. So the real question is, do you want to trade on such a day?
Yeah, well, we've still got 3 hours, so I'll be asleep by that time anyway.
Okay. So I'll finish this EUR chart here briefly, and then we'll flip over to your screen and see what you can pull out of the market. So if we did see a breakdown, we have this old structure back here, and then it's kind of inverted blue skies below, meaning no structure. So technically, a move down here, you're trading against structure on this, but this is a higher time frame chart. So if I moved down to the 3 hour, if price can push, or the to the 30-minute, if price can push past this 115.41, and we can find a nice little pullback, or even just a breakout trade. I'm on the 5-minute chart, and something like this might be tradable if price could make it down and maybe edge up, grab this structure right here. Might be a nice little short on the euro, but it would be risky based on, low volatility, but this might be a possible trade for today. We'll see about it. But I'm going to go ahead and hand the screen over to Miko. If I see a trade that makes sense, then we'll talk about it. I may take it on my side. But Miko, let me go ahead and change my camera. And then if you want, go ahead and share your screen, and we'll have you on there.
You've got to remind me on that one, which is the share screen box.
If you look in the bottom, you'll see like it looks like a monitor with a plus symbol in it.
Yep. Yes. Oh, share screen. There we go.
And then most likely the tops, it'll have labels, different screens with labels on it. Like, so whatever your browser is with your charts on it.
Whatever. Yeah. I'll start the NASDAQ, I suppose. Yep,
There we are.
Go. All right. So what's the NASDAQ do? I just caught a little short on the USD JPY not too long ago.
Give me apologies.
That
Let
one?
me fix the screen here. Man, we got to get you on dark mode, brother. No, you're. I mean, it's fine. I'm being persnickety at this point. But yeah, what you could do just to make it easier for the audience to see is on the bottom right, you could expand the screen. There you
are. Yeah, I already
have.
Yep.
Oh, you have. I don't think you have. Well, maybe, okay, yeah, you have. Then what you could do is move. Well,
is that a bit better?
There's a full screen button. Okay, on the top next to like the camera where you take a screenshot.
What I'll do is, I'll get rid of this.
On the top next to the camera.
There you go.
On the top next to the camera, left of that. There you go. Click on. There you are. That's really, and then you hit F11, I think, to get out of that, or escape.
F11.
Yeah, we can see pretty well now.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Well, no, I mean to get out. So we want to be in that. I was just telling you how to get out of that when you're done. So we want to hit that same button that you had just hit before next to the camera. There we are.
Yep. Okay. Is that a bit better?
But yeah, now the audience can see what you're doing.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, just a little bit before, I just caught the little short on the USD JPY. Basically, I shorted the top of the Kumo here at 112. And then I had a little spot on the 5-minute chart. 10-minute. Told me to get out about 192. So I did get out 192. It's already come back up to the Kumo. So I'm out of that for now, but I might come in and take another little short, bumping its head on the top of the Kumo there. And There's a lot of resistance as well. So I might take another little quick one there. What have we got?
Yeah, you're right at the structure too. That's right at the bottom of the prior structure consolidation. So that makes sense. Are you in the 4-hour right now?
Actually, no. I'm in the 3-hour. Sorry. So okay. Actually, I might even chuck one of those little boxes. Hang on, I need to shorten up the screen for that.
Yeah, it looks like it's setting up for a nice little scalp short.
Chuck one of these here. Just that little volume, good little volume box here. It's in the middle of it. Could possibly, it doesn't matter. I'll take a quick short now anyway, but on the 1 minute, it doesn't look the greatest. I'll take a quick one now anyway. We've got 12.05 I'm getting in. 152.05. If it hits, it hits. There you go. I just got in now. So stop is going to be, I'll put it above this one. Stop is going to be 152.19.
162.19 for your stop? 152. 150. Yeah, that sounds about right. Just above there's a lot of swing lows on that. So I'm wondering how. So you're waiting for the market to come up to. I would have an entry kind of around the 152.11 area, maybe a little higher. But where do you have your entry on that?
I've just gone in. I took 152.05, which is not looking good. I'm going to start cutting this short already. I'm going to start reducing the trade already. I don't like it already. It's already turning. Yeah, I'm going to reduce it even more. It's the second reduction now. I'll wait another minute or two. There you go. It's coming back down.
Yeah, it's coming back down there.
So I've just reduced it a little bit anyway, about 25%. So if it keeps popping up high, I'll just reduce it again. But all right, I'll let that one go for now. I've got my alert set on it at 113, just at the top of the Kumo. Let's check out this NASDAQ. All right, this is a little box I drew a little bit earlier. It's about to hit the top of it. What do we got? Where's this one here?
We got V the Gorilla
this is on
in.
the
V, how you
3
doing
minute.
this morning, sir?
Greetings.
We got Mikko's in here doing a little live trading.
Oh, cool. Hey,
How you
Mikos.
going, V? How are you today, mate?
Doing great,
How are
man.
you today, V?
So far, so good. I can't
Good to
complain.
hear.
I mean, I could complain, but who's going to listen?
Exactly. Exactly. We're all on the same boat, mate. No point complaining.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, I actually enjoyed the show last night as well, boys. That was a good one. Actually, me and the missus have been talking about that lately, and whether we stay or go back to Australia. Obviously, I'm in Taiwan at the moment, but just quickly, I'm going to take a quick short on the NASDAQ here as well.
Oh, NQ, yeah, you can get a short on NQ.
Hang on, I'm not sharing that screen. Yep. Have you got it on the NASDAQ now?
There we are. And see if you can do the same expansion of the screen that we talked about before. Next to the camera there.
Yep. Is that better?
Yeah, now the audience can see what you're doing.
Yeah, okay. I'd prefer it to hit the box there at 77 for 24,477. Doesn't look like it wants to do it. What have we got in the 1 minute? What time is it? 9:30 still open for you guys. The market opens for half an hour for you guys. Am I correct? It's not daylight savings or anything?
Yeah, that's 35 minutes. Your market opens in New York.
Yeah, all right, so we've still got 35 minutes. All right, I might hold back on it until I get my
And
entry
by the
anyway.
way, it's effectively a Monday over here because yesterday was a banking holiday. We had Columbus Day yesterday, so you might get a wild move or two at the open.
Yes, that's why I'm a bit half an hour. I've got to be aware of what's going on.
A little trepidatious, right? Just a little...
Yeah, I was. Oh, yesterday was a knockout little day. Jeez, I started off well, and then I should have gone to bed at 11 o'clock. Well, 11 p.m. anyway. I was up for the day, and then got a few nice little shorts, a nice little long or two here and there as well, bit of scalping, and then I decided to go short for the rest of the night, and I just got spanked all night. And on top of that, even worse, I was going in heavy. So all the profit I made, I just lost all that plus extra.
Well,
the worst thing about it was I knew it was like all day. This is a day that you just go long all day, couple little odd little shorts. But today's the day that's got to be short. Yep, fair enough. All day today's been short. And today I caught the short this morning, right at the top, and I only put a half position on because I was so scared about last night's loss. Thought, continuation again. And yeah, of course. But at least I got a bit of it back anyway this morning. Got half of it back anyway, so better than kicking the balls up.
You get these funky days like that, and the market's gonna sometimes not make sense. So once you detect that, what I usually do is I just hang back. I hang back. I let the market make sense, and then I come back. But if you're good at surfing the choppy waters, then why not, right?
Oh, sometimes yes. Sometimes I can be my own worst enemy for that. Pressing the button. You got the bias in your head, short, and you just, like I said, sometimes my own worst enemy like that.
That is a part of the trading psychology.
We all got our weaknesses. Yeah, exactly. That's my little weakness there. I need to beat. I think once I beat that, I'll be all in the clear. But yeah, that's my little weakness there. I need to do what you told me as well. Set some rules and stick to them. Actually, write some rules down. Stick it right in front of my computer above my stuff so I can see it and go from there.
Yeah, wise words.
Yeah, I'm just taking a little short on the NASDAQ. Only a little one because obviously it's just before market open. Didn't really get to where I want, but yeah, like I said, I'll quickly start exiting if it starts going off. My JPY starting to come back into play. Just hitting green now on the JPY.
Yeah, JPY starting to cooperate, isn't it?
Yes, it is. All right, so stop on the NASDAQ. I'm going to put it at the 24,490. 24,490. So is inside the box here, just inside the box, above the red moving average. Like I said, for stops, I pretty much just use roughly what I'm prepared to lose. Like, okay, for example, it could be $50 or $100 or 20, 30, whatever it is on the trade. So whether I'm going tight stop, big stop, I generally don't worry about supports. Well, obviously I try and get it above supports, but I don't like putting huge stops. I've done my days of doing that. I don't like it. You know, you could win your 10 trades, 5 trades, and then get one big loss because you've got your stop so huge. Just wipes it all out. So I prefer to do smaller stops, whatever. If it turns against me, reduce the trade. That's it. So you lose even
that's
less.
actually the way that you trade though. That works well because you're trading in that tight box right there. So having a tight stops like makes sense for you.
That's it. So yeah, NASDAQ's here looking okay so far. Have I set that stop? No, I haven't. All right, now I have. All right, so I'll probably be looking for coming down to around here. If it hits down here for profit target. Top of the box or inside the box, that's going to be a profit target. But we'll see what happens if we can get past this Kumo cloud. Geez, I'll tell you what, V, how's the news on the silver going? Mate, it's got a huge spread at the moment. Well, the last couple of days, the spread, I've seen the spread at,
I think silver's been in backwardation. So at this point, it seems that people actually want their physical. They're willing to pay more for physical than they are for a futures position, which is remarkable. I think V, you were talking about that just yesterday, weren't you?
Yeah.
You know, so
sorry. Keep going.
Oh, that's just it's indicative of supply problems. So usually when you have futures position, you're going to pay price of spot plus premium plus the cost of carry, which means like you're going to pay to hold the position over time. So it's a small percentage. So when people are willing to pay more to have it now rather than pay cost of carry for convenience on a futures position, that's telling you that people want their metals.
Yep.
And it's telling you that basically there's a good chance that there's a supply problem, which isn't, that of course, anytime you have a supply problem, then there's a demand problem.
Yeah, well, that's right. I was just more talking about the actual on the Wanda. The spread was about 15 cents on the Wanda at one stage. That's huge. That's the biggest I've ever seen it. It was there anywhere from 5 to 15 cents. At one stage, yeah, it was about 15, nearly 20 cents. That was ridiculous. What's worse is I had a trade on it at that stage. And it just blew me out just because of the spread. The spread alone got me. So, yeah, at the moment, I'm already reducing the NASDAQ as well. I've already reduced it by 0.1. So,
yeah, see, what we're seeing here is, I'm telling you right now, because Powell is going to talk, then a lot of your typical trading type stuff is not going to work. So we're going to have a lesson in trading psychology right now. And that lesson in trading psychology is, look, first of all, when you have trades not going your way all day long and you keep doing the same thing over and over and losing, then it might be time to stop trading.
Yep. Yeah, I need to learn that.
Yeah, that's a hard lesson to learn because Mikko, I've seen you trade. You know what you're doing. You're a good trader. And so you have a lot of confidence in your methodology. But this is the reality. And like I've watched Mikko trade. Like you consistently win. But as you said when you got started, trades keep not going your way. We just watched the JPY flip against you, right? So, and the NASDAQ. Yep. So what we're seeing here is a typical thing that happens when, say Jerome Powell's going to speak, which he does in 3 hours, is that the market is being pushed in unnatural directions. And I know, like, can you mute your phone there, bud? Is that possible, Mikko?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So what we're talking about here is, look, everybody in the trading world thinks that saying, oh, there's manipulation. They think that's a cop out, but it's not, especially when you look at traditional finance where they have all the money in the world to do anything they want to do. So what's going to happen is that trades are going to go very directionally and they're going to grind on days like this. And the reason is I'm going to flip to my screen and we're probably going to end the live trading session here. I'm going to do Miko a favor. So let me flip to my screen. In fact, I'm going to flip to the proper screen so we don't end up like last time where I keep saying things and then like it's not happening because it's not on the screen. So let's do this. Give me one moment, guys and gals. And then we will do this. And then why is this not? Whoa. Okay. Now my camera, for some reason, there we are. Okay. And now I have to change something else. Give me a moment. Do a little visual effect issue that's probably been going on since the whole time. Oh, look at that. And we'll do this. Okay, good. So look, as traders, we like at Algo Factory, what we do is we have a method that we use, right? And that method is based on what you would call normal market conditions. Normal market conditions would be nothing is affecting the market in a way that you can't predict. So we go back through time and we gather data as to, how is the market going to behave based on the way it's behaved before. And we develop a probabilistic model with rules. You heard Miko say earlier, I like to put the rules right on my screen. So you'll notice that, like, for example, this red tab pinged, price went down, the algo acted predictably in this particular case, but that doesn't mean it's going to always do that. And if you actually look back, there were no algo pings going back on the 5-minute chart, going back to yesterday afternoon. So there's been nothing. My algo has not detected a single trade going back, I don't know how many hours that is, 18 hours. Well, everybody knows that Jerome Powell is going to talk right now. And so trying to trade into such a thing can end up disastrous because the price is not going to move in a way that you want. And why is that? This is a good lesson for everybody to hear. Look, if Jerome Powell is going to talk and everybody kind of like all the important people, the big money people sort of know what he's going to say, and they do, I can almost guarantee you, if I were to zoom out a bit and take a look, say at the 30-minute chart, you'll notice that price was pushed in a given direction and is now being held. Now it's being held in this zone. And I can almost guarantee you that's the case across the board, right? So let's look at the euro. Same thing, price being pushed in this direction, held in this area. Bitcoin, kind of got pushed down, held in this area, not quite as dramatically as the others. NASDAQ, very similar to Bitcoin, pushed down, now held in this area. Aussie, pushed down, now held in this area. See how the charts all look the same and they haven't done jack for like 3 or 4 hours? See that? That's indicative that something is going to happen. And this is USD first. So this, what you're seeing here is the same thing as the other charts. It's just that the dollar is before the Canadian dollar. So this is an inversion of the other charts and it's all behaving the same. Okay. So the way that options markets work is that people need to be in the money on short-term and long-term options. But I think in this case, short-term is what matters. Maybe it's 0 day. I don't know. But if people are going to need price to go to a certain place, and then you're going to have somebody speak, then in order to be predictable, price is going to have to remain in a certain area. And the big money can accumulate their position until that happens. So price will be pushed where it needs to go, and then it will hang where it is. And that's given that it gets to where it needs to go. So let's just say, for example, the big money, like let's say Jerome Powell is going to talk right here, right? And I'm just going to start making things up here. So let's just say that's, noon, whatever. And price needs to be, in order for the big money to do what they need, price needs to be here. But the problem is that it's 4 hours beforehand and price is way up here. You'll notice that price starts to just kind of jaggedly, unnaturally get pushed to here. And then once it gets to where it needs to go, it will just rotate wherever that is until the announcement, which is literally what we're probably seeing right now. Now, I don't know that to be true. I'm not talking to the big money, but this is typical on an announcement day. So it might be that Miko's algos and his methodology, his trading method, were saying to go long here all night long, but it just kept grinding against him because the big money needed to push the price of everything to a certain level so that all the large traders could either accumulate at this level, or it could be that the large traders needed this to be at this level to engineer whatever it is they had to engineer. And there's a lot of different things that could be and reasons that could be. So trading before an announcement, you'll find that your hit rate is probably going to be lower than usual. That's the lesson here. So we'll do Miko a favor. And as much as we love having you on, Miko, we'll probably, you can stay on, but we'll probably head over to the private live lab. It's already open in the private live lab, but we're just going to see how the trading might go. But hearing your report of last night, we'll probably do live trading a different day, and we'll head to the private live lab because V the Gorilla, do you have well, how about you kick us over to the private live lab, and then whatever kind of secret info, if any, we can talk about it over there.
Yeah, sure. Well, guys, don't sit around wondering if this is for you. Come check us out, algofactory.tech. Learn to trade like a hedge fund pro. Learn to profit from the chaos. I mean, let's be honest here. Before this whole, crypto flash crash, we said there was going to be a major pullback, like literally 2 weeks before this whole damn thing even happened,
Yep.
And we kind of charted it out too. So look, if you want to stay ahead of this nonsense, join us. You're going to learn how to not only trade, but learn how to build the algorithms that trade on your behalf. The only place in the world that shows you how to do it. So with that being said, Cowboy, take it away.
Yeah, I'm sorry to not take it away, but remind everybody, or I'll do it. In the description, there's a link where I actually build a pretty simple algo, but you see me build it. And I translate it into code by using Grok AI. And then I show you the tools that people use to connect it to their exchange. Now, if you know what you're doing, you could probably optimize that algo, and it might even be profitable for you. But this is more of a teaching tool. So, go ahead and click on that link, and we'll send you that algo immediately. So I will now take it away. Thank you, V the Gorilla.
Join us or die.
Just kidding. You're not going to die. We love you.
You might.